This is Antic, the Atari 8-bit podcast. I'm Kay Savitz. Michael Park created two well-known demos that are familiar to many Atari enthusiasts, the Swan Demo and FujiBoink. In the Swan Demo, a bird flies gracefully across the screen in front of a spinning Fuji logo. In FujiBoink, the Atari Fuji spins and bounces over a red and white checkerboard, reminiscent of the Amiga Bouncing Ball demo. Michael also helped create MIDI Maze, an early first-person shooter that used the Atari ST's MIDI ports to network up to 16 computers. He also worked on the 8-bit version of MIDI Maze, which was never officially released but became available nonetheless. Michael also helped create Shiny Bubbles, another demo for the Atari ST. Michael was a friend of the owner of Xanth Computer Systems, an Atari dealer in Seattle, Washington. A 2013 article titled Computer Dealer Demos Selling Home Computers with Bouncing Balls and Animated Logos, published in the IEEE Annals of the History of Computing, stated this. During the 1985 Winter CES, Atari presented the 130XE. This computer was promoted with a demo that included three animations, Atari Robot, Atari Swan, and FujiBoink, made by a small software company named Xanth FX. The company's representative claimed in Analog Computing magazine, "We are a large ST retailer. Our FX division churns out demos for the betterment of Atari." According to the testimonies of Atari users in Seattle, it was actually a small computer store in downtown Seattle and a small software company that employed a few people, among them programmer and graphic designer Michael A. Park. Xanth Park, a play on Xerox Park, and the FX division were deliberate tricks to make the little company and one or two great coders seem like a big company. Michael told me that neither he nor Xanth Park created the Walking Robot demo, another popular demo of the era. I think we did combine Robot Spaceship with the bouncing ball so they'd play sequentially at Atari's request, he told me. He extracted the rotating Fuji code from the Robot demo for reuse in the Swan demo. This interview took place on April 6th, 2022. I'd like to talk about your name. I've seen you as Michael Park, I've seen you as Xanth Park, and then there was maybe a computer store called Xanth. Was Xanth like a nickname, or tell me about how your name works?
All right, my name is Michael Park. I do have a middle name, but it's not Xanth. There was a computer store here in Seattle called Xanth Computers, and I did my Atari stuff for them. We used the name Xanth Park not to represent a person, but to suggest as a reference to Xerox Park, which was a hotbed of computer science research at that time.
Sure.
It was sort of a little joking reference to Xerox Park. I don't think anyone got it, but anyway, it's not really. I'm not Xanth Park. I'm just Michael Park.
Okay.
It's just a joke that didn't quite land.
Okay, so I would like to start before the beginning. If you can give me some prehistory about how you got into computers, education, what you're doing, how you ended up at the computer store, and we'll go from there.
Well, I was born in '62, and so just as I was becoming a teenager and getting into high school age, I guess, for some reason I was interested in slide rules, and I was interested in calculators. I had a treasured Hewlett-Packard HP25C, which I programmed the heck out of. At that time, there was also, magazine articles about Altair and the Cosmac Elf, which is the microcomputer that I had my sights on. That one really grabbed my fancy, and I was hoping to build one of those, but I never did. I never got to the Cosmac Elf, but I did get interested in computers. I was studying at school. We did some computer programming on Mark Sense cards, and I would go to the university and use their key punch and do some Fortran over there. And eventually, I got an Atari 800. I got into that. I did eventually study computer science, got my bachelor's. I went to graduate school, but not for computer science. So I sort of fell off the computer path for a while. That's not really prehistory, because right around just before going to graduate school, I ended up here in Seattle. I had written this a bouncing ball thing similar to Amiga Boing demo. And there was this computer store downtown, Xanth Computers. And I walked in with my diskette, and that's the end of the prehistory.
I want to go back. I want to know, how did you teach yourself assembly language to do the bouncing ball demo? I assume you had seen the Amiga demo, and were you like, I bet my Atari can do that? Tell me how that happened.
I guess I must have. I don't remember exactly how that worked. I must have seen the demo, and for some reason I did not really appreciate the demo. I guess because I thought I could duplicate it. Of course, my duplication was complete. It was just it's a fake, right? I mean, the Amiga thing was really doing something. Mine was just a shallow imitation.
Does it matter if it looks just as good? Does it matter if it's computing it in real time or playing pre-rendered frames?
Oh, of course it matters.
Did you teach yourself assembly language programming?
Oh, I must have. I don't. I think at least 6502 I taught myself. Pretty sure.
You walk into this computer store with this amazing little demo, and did they know you there, or you're just like, "Hi, I'm Michael. I made a thing." How did that go?
Pretty much. I think I just walked in and introduced myself.
Mm-hmm. My assumption is that they went, "Wow, this is amazing," and they put it running on all the Ataris to show off the machines.
I really don't remember what exactly happened next. I think Jim Yee, the owner of the store, wanted me to put a Xanth banner on the thing.
So he wanted some advertising for his store. Love it.
Yeah,
sure. Why wouldn't you?
Right. Exactly.
And were you aware that like this got everywhere? Like everyone in every Atari user in the world saw this program?
Well, I don't know about that. I guess it had pretty good reach. I have no idea how I don't remember how things got distributed back then.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been. It's either just people passing it around or BBSs.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
I was never much of a BBS person, so I don't really know about that world.
All right. So later you made two more things, and I don't know the order that they came, but there was the FujiBoink, which was another instead of a ball, it was the Atari logo bouncing around.
Right, in sort of a 3D. Oh, that was I don't remember which came, what the order was, but yeah, that did come after. It was a fun one, I think. Again, a lot of pre-rendered frames. I vaguely remember writing that. I can't even remember what kind of assembler I use. I have a vague recollection that I wrote my own assembler, but that's crazy talk.
Did you render them on the Atari 8-bit itself, or did you use like a more powerful computer to?
I think it was all done on the 8-bit.
And then there was the Swan demo. Tell me how that came to be.
Huh. Well, these are just dumb programs that I wrote that wanted to make something to look nice. And somewhere I had this few frames of some bird flying away. Must have been a crane. I tried to hand digitize a swan. That is not. What was? Yeah, it was a swan, right? Yeah, swan.
Well, it was called the Swan demo. You might have been a crane, but everyone call it the Swan demo.
No. So. Right. I think I even at some point wasn't there some? Did it say? Was there not some text that said it's a swan? There's a spinning Fuji and some sort of XE logo or something. Again, pre-rendered, but that was done programmatically. But the little bird was me drawing little pixels.
Nice. Well, it works. Yeah. It's effective and it's cute.
Okay, I'm glad people like it. They're technically uninteresting. It's terrible.
Why are they technically interesting? Just because it's showing pre-rendered frames? Is that why you disparage it like that?
Pretty much. I mean, I see other demos, not just Atari, but other demos that are doing all sorts of amazing, crazy stuff. And I have no idea how they're doing that. They're doing real magic. And I'm here doing, the 21 card trick. There's no comparison.
You sold some computers, though, so I think that you got the job done as far as the computer store was concerned.
I guess so. I agree.
Did you just shop at this computer store? Did you work there? How were you involved?
I hadn't really shopped there, I don't think. My relationship with the store, with Jim at least, just started with the bouncing ball. I would hang out there. I wasn't an employee of the store, but I was probably there a lot.
All right. So there was MIDI Maze for the Atari ST, and I think you made the Atari 8-bit port. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, both of them were team efforts, but I did the basic graphics and game stuff for the ST and for the 8-bit. George Miller was doing the AI for the drones, quote unquote drones, or maybe I should say, quote unquote AI. But anyway, he did that. That was not my department. So.
I didn't realize you did the ST version as well.
Oh, yeah. I did. Well, I mean, I did my part of the ST version, graphics, the basic infrastructure.
So that was an amazing little game. I mean, it was basically one of the first LAN party games. You could hook up 16 computers, and that must have been fun to participate in.
Yeah, it was fun. Can't argue with that. It was a fun time. Set up a few machines to show it off at a users group here in Seattle, or maybe it was in Bellevue.
And you did, I think, a couple other things for the ST. There was a demo of a maze game.
Oh, that was just a teaser for MIDI Maze.
Is that what that was? Okay. There was something called Shiny Bubbles.
Shiny Bubbles, yeah. It's pre-rendered frames again. I wrote a simple ray tracer, so I made a little animation. The thing I remember from that is I showed an early version to my brother, who's an artist. He pointed out, that I didn't have to use pure red and pure blue. The colors I had chosen were pure, just primary colors, and they were really, it was really, he pointed out that I could be a little subtler with the colors, and he was right. Yeah, that always stuck with me. I guess I was too focused on the software. I wasn't really looking at the aesthetics so much.
Let's see, I found an article by you in Start magazine. FujiBoink Behind the Bit Planes, which is about the FujiBoink conversion for the ST.
Right.
You describe how it works.
Right. Yeah, because of the bitplane architecture of the ST, you could do a certain little bit of trickery and make a sort of a translucent shadow. I guess I wrote about that. May have made a little, well, I don't know, not a mountain out of a molehill, but a larger molehill out of a small molehill. There was something there, but it was, I don't know.
Was the ST version more real and less fake magic hand wavy?
Oh no, it's still pretty fakey. I don't even remember what I coded that in. Was that just in C?
I think so. Oh, here, the Amiga introduced its graphics power with a demonstration featuring a rotating bouncing ball. In November 1986, Atari showed up at Comdex in Las Vegas demonstrating the same bouncing ball on both the ST and the Atari 8-bit machines. The 8-bit version was done by Xanth, a Seattle computer center. A few weeks later, at CES, Xanth was demonstrating a rotating bouncing Fuji, the Atari trademark symbol, with a scrolling rainbow on the 8-bit Ataris. Inevitably, the same demo was adapted with startling results on the Atari ST. That's what they said about that. Startling results. Michael. My favorite paragraph is you go on and on and on about the technical details and the shadow and calculating shading and stuff. And then there's a section called Those Great Sound Effects. I know, there's only one sound effect. And yes, I agree. It's not so great. Maybe next time.
Oh my God. Did I write that? Can't argue with that.
Well.
Yeah, I'm never very good at sound.
Were there other projects, other programs or demos or anything that you can remember making that maybe I don't know about or that didn't get published?
Can't think of any. I mean, there should have been. Can't say that I recall any.
All right. Is there any chance you have any of the source code anymore?
I don't know. I have some boxes in storage, but I don't even know.
Well, if you should find them, I have the gear to get the data off old floppies and move it to modern computers. It'd be fun to see that.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you do these days?
These days, I work in web development for a little tiny consulting company in downtown Seattle.
Is it more or less fun doing that now than it was playing on Ataris?
Well, it's an excellent work environment. I have an excellent boss. But yeah, it's not as much fun, obviously.
All right. Way to cover your bases, both with your current job and with the audience of this podcast.
Exactly. In the past, I got into microcontrollers. Modern microcontrollers kind of give you that, or at least give me some of the same sense of on the metal programming that I got from 8-bit Atari stuff back in the day. There's this microcontroller called the Parallax Propeller that I really like. And I wrote a version of Planetary Defense, an old Tom Hudson game for the 8-bit.
Sure.
I wrote my own version on the propeller, which is fun. I wrote a wireframe battle zone, 2-player battle zone. And in terms of Atari type programming, that's the closest I've gotten.
Fun. What haven't I asked you about the Atari days that I should have?
Wish I had more stories. I mean, it was a fun time, and I just wish I could remember it better.
If you could send a message to the people who still play with their Atari computers today, and you can right now, what would you tell them?
If people are having fun with it, that's great. Great. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I've been having fun with these microcontrollers. You have a giant brain that sits on your laptop, but it's more fun to play with the little 16 or whatever, however many bits, 8, 16, 32-bit.
Yeah.
Little processors.
I think I have what I need, Michael. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
After the interview, Michael sent an email that said, "Every now and then I hear from people who have enjoyed the Atari software that I was involved with way back when, and every time I am reminded of the fun and excitement of those days. To those who have kept the Atari spirit alive all this time, I salute you." If you enjoy these interviews and would like to contribute, make a tax-deductible contribution to the Internet Archive, a nonprofit digital library that has done incredible things to preserve computer history. Make your tax-deductible contribution at archive.org/donate. Thanks.